We cover, as we've been talking about, the wars in Ukraine, the Middle East and so on, but there is another seemingly intractable conflict that generally gets rather less attention, and that is the civil war in Sudan. Since it broke out some 3 years ago, more than 150,000 people are thought to have died, with some 13 million civilians displaced. In fact, the United Nations calls it the world's largest humanitarian crisis. Well, the two sides at war, the rebel paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, the RSF, and the pro-government Sudanese army have both been accused of committing war crimes, but they still have powerful backers, it seems. Egypt quietly supports the Sudanese army, while evidence from Human Rights Watch suggests the United Arab Emirates has been backing the RSF, the rebels, providing weapons and mercenaries from other countries. Both Egypt and the United Arab Emirates, by the way, deny any involvement at all in the war. John, tell us more about what's going on in Sudan, because as I say, it's something we don't probably report and talk about and discuss as much as we should do.
It's a subject actually quite close to my heart. I've spent quite a bit of time in Sudan over the years, and I love it. I mean, a wonderful, wonderful country with this deeply disturbed political system. I mean, what's happening at the moment, the government forces fighting the RSF, that is actually makes you quite angry, really, because it's, in part, at any rate, a kind of ego trip for the two leaders, in particular for a man called Hemedti, who runs the Rapid Support Forces. The idea that the RSF is based on the old organization called Janjaweed, which was an extremist Islamist grouping, and in order to bring them in out of the cold and stop them fighting, they were offered the chance to merge in one way or another with the government forces, and they didn't like the terms on which it was. It was really, I think, because Hemedti didn't get the kind of respect that he was expecting, and he walked out of the talks. And this war, which has killed so many people and is so destructive and cruel, was the result of that walking out. All sorts of dreadful things have happened. I mean, there's a guy called Abu Lulu, who was a general for the RSF, and was filmed, I think did a bit of filming himself, of him killing civilians. He was in jail for it because even the RSF realized that was a bit too much to take. Now the reports are that he's been released and he's out again doing his worst. I mean, these are things that shouldn't be allowed, that there should be some kind of control about it. But is there? No, because for political reasons, different countries support different sides. And of course, although, as you rightly say, and it's important to report it, both Turkey and Egypt deny giving any serious armed support to the government forces. And the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, denies that it's arming the RSF. Well, the Guardian newspaper in Britain put out a pretty detailed story at the end of last year, I think, about the weaponry that was going to the RSF from the UAE, high quality Chinese weaponry, and you'll be stunned to know quite a lot of British weaponry too. It doesn't mean to say the British government's supporting them, because it certainly isn't. But somebody, the Guardian says the UAE is buying up the weapons and supplying them. So the misery, that awful business goes on.
Okay, we've just got time for one last look at what's going on.